After being flattened by Campbell Newman on the weekend, the impact from Labor's Queensland election rout reverberated through federal Labor today. The Prime Minister says she was surprised by the scale of the defeat, but as she's dismissing suggestions it had much to do with her government. Senior Labor figures say the party must try harder to win over Queensland before the next federal election. Political correspondent Tommy Goulden reports from Canberra.
In South Korea, the Prime Minister is attending a nuclear summit, but the political fallout from the Queensland election was just as much on her mind.
Yes, you know, the dimensions of this defeat took me by a bit of surprise on Saturday night. The people of Queensland have not only spoken a message to Queensland Labor, indeed they've shouted it.
She denies that message was meant for her as well.
The fight was overwhelmingly on state issues. There was clearly a major it's time factor after Labor having been in government for so long.
She would say that, wouldn't she? And if the Prime Minister's got wax in her ears, well, she'll pay the consequences.
Leading the annual Polly pedal, Tony Abbott missed a left-hand turn.
Sorry, my fault. I wasn't watching.
But's surer about the driving force behind the political lurch to the right in state parliaments.
We've now seen two cataclysmic results for the Labor Party, and the carbon tax was a factor in both of them.
I mean, Tony Abbott has basically been conducting himself as if he's got the next election in the bag.
There's a real concern among Labor members that view could be right. Queensland MPs would face extinction if the weekend's result was replicated at the next federal election.
We will increase our campaigning effort in Queensland now that we've got some of the most important policies through the Parliament.
I went to Queensland 22 times last year.
Some have lost no time reminding Queenslanders of federal Labor's commitment to the state.
To rebuild the Bruce Highway, the Ipswich Motorway, the Pacific Motorway upgrade, the Moreton Bay Rail Link, the Gold Coast Light Rail project.
But the fact remains Labor now has just one mainland premier left after the Queensland election, South Australia's Jay Weatherill.
It appears the electorate there was waiting for the Labor Party with bigger bats.
Yeah.
Are they waiting for you too?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it was obviously a devastating loss for Queensland Labor, and any Labor Party supporter would, I think, feel that it was a catastrophe.
But it's a dark cloud that some point out may come with a silver lining.
There's a glimmer of good news in this Queensland result for federal Labor, and that is that we've now seen the fourth state move to coalition government, and Australian voters, with very few exceptions, do not like to have governments of the same persuasion in power in state and Canberra.
Indeed, with the carcass of the Bligh government still warm, a spat's already broken out in the federal LNP. National Senator Barnaby Joyce has confirmed he will challenge his LNP colleague, 69-year-old Bruce Scott, for pre-selection in the Queensland lower house seat of Maranoa. Nationals leader Warren Truss has already thrown his support behind Mr Scott, citing loyalty and warning against allowing the issue to become a media circus. Tom Eagleton, Late Line.